All right, today we're going to talk about something you see literally every single day, but maybe don't think too much about liquids. And believe me, the world of liquids gets way, way stranger than you can imagine.
Okay, so let me start with a little bit of a puzzle for you. What in the world do ketchup, the very screen you're looking at, and a fluid that has zero friction, what do they all have in common? Well, the answer is they're all, in their own wild and wacky ways, liquids. So yeah, let's get into it.
But before we dive into all that weird stuff, we got to get on the same page. Start with the basics. What even is a liquid anyway? So, your standard textbook definition is actually pretty straightforward. A liquid is something that can flow, right? It takes the shape of whatever you pour it into, but, and this is key, it doesn't expand to fill up the whole room like a gas does. Just imagine pouring water from a cup into a bowl. The shape is totally different, but you still have the exact same amount of water. Simple enough. And this is where it gets really cool when you look at what's happening on a molecular level. With solids, the particles are all jammed together, locked in place. In a gas, they're just bouncing all over the place, totally free. But liquids, they're in this awesome sweet spot right in the middle. The particles are still buddies, they're close, but they've got enough wiggle room to just slide right past each other. And that freedom, that ability to move, is the secret to everything we're about to talk about. All right, so we've got our basic definition down, but this is where the plot thickens, because it turns out not all liquids are created equal. How they react when you put them under stress, under pressure, well, that's what splits the liquid world in two. And the key idea here is a little something called viscosity. It's basically a fancy word for a liquid's internal friction, or you could just think of it as its thickness. This analogy says it all, right? Trying to run through water is one thing. Trying to run through molasses, that's a whole different story. That thick, gooey resistance, that's high viscosity. This leads us to the two big families of liquids. First, you've got your Newtonian liquids. These are the predictable ones, the rule followers. Think about water. Its thickness doesn't change whether you stir it gently or whip it into a frenzy. Then you have the rebels, the non-Newtonian liquids. Their whole deal is that their viscosity changes depending on how much stress you put on them. And yeah, this is exactly why you're smacking the bottom of a ketchup bottle trying to get anything to come out. Okay, let's talk about the classic example, oobleck. It's just cornstarch and water, but it's magical. If you slowly press your hand into it, it feels, well, liquidy. The particles just slide past each other. But what happens if you punch it? Bam! That sudden force squeezes all the water out from between the cornstarch particles. They lock up, they jam together, and for an instant, it acts like a solid. It's just the perfect demonstration of how bizarre these non-Newtonian fluids can be. So how a liquid reacts to pressure is one way to sort them. But there's another way, a deeper way. We can also look at the unseen forces at play, the chemistry that's happening between the molecules themselves. And this is really a tale of two completely different kinds of molecules. And it all boils down to something called polarity. Water molecules are polar. You can think of them like tiny little magnets, with a positive side and a negative side. This makes them super clicky. They just want to stick to each other. Oil molecules are the opposite. Their charge is all spread out evenly, so they're nonpolar. They're more sociable, but only with other nonpolar molecules. And there you have it. That is the fundamental reason why oil and water just do not mix. It's not that they hate each other, it's that the water molecules love each other so much, they literally shove the oil molecules aside to hang out. You've seen this a million times, right? Just shake up some salad dressing and watch it happen. That's pure chemistry in action, right in your salad bowl. Okay, so we've covered the basics, we've talked about pressure, we've dived into the chemistry, but now we're going to the weird and wonderful fringe. This is where liquids start breaking all the rules and begin to feel more like science fiction than science fact. Remember that phone screen from the beginning? Well, the magic behind it is something called liquid crystals, and it is a truly bizarre state of matter. It's not quite a liquid, not quite a solid. The molecules can flow around, but they also like to line up in an organized, crystal-like way. And here's the trick. We can zap them with a little electricity to change how they're aligned, which lets us control light passing through them. And that, my friends, is how you get a picture on your screen. And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, let me introduce you to superfluids. If you take something like helium and cool it down to almost absolute zero, the coldest temperature possible, something incredible happens. It loses all of its viscosity. Every last bit of internal friction vanishes, and it starts to do things that just shouldn't be possible, like climbing up the walls of a container and flowing right out, completely defying gravity. Zero. Just zero. That's its viscosity. Imagine a liquid with absolutely zero resistance, no friction at all. If you could somehow stir a cup of this stuff, it would just keep swirling. Forever. It's like a physics paradox brought to life. So think about that. We started with a simple glass of water, and we ended up with a gravity-defying, frictionless superfluid. It just proves that even the things we think we know best, like the basic states of matter, are full of mind-blowing secrets. And it leaves you wondering, right? If liquids can be this strange, what other impossible materials are out there, just waiting for us to discover them?